Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh. Today's video topic is protein. Proteins are very large molecule composed of basic units called amino acids. Protein contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. Protein molecules are large complex molecules formed by the one or more twisted and folded strands of amino acids. Proteins are highly complex molecules that are actively involved in the most basic and important aspects of life. These includes metabolism, movement, defense, cellular communication, and molecular recognition. Let's talk about the functions of protein. Positive negative attraction between different atoms in the long amino acids cause it to coil itself again and again to form its highly complex shape. Folded proteins may be combined with other folded proteins to form even larger, more complicated shapes. The folded shapes of the protein molecule determines its role in body chemistry. Structural proteins are shaped in ways that allow them to form essential structures of body. Collision of protein with fiber shapes holds most of the body tissues together. Keratin, another structural protein, forms a network-like structure of waterproof fibers in the outer layer of the skin. Functional proteins have shapes that enable them to participate in chemical processes of the body. Functional proteins occupies include some of the hormones, growth factors, cell membrane receptor, and enzymes. Let's talk about the classification of the protein. While there are hundreds of amino acids in the nature, human use only 20 of them. One way to further classify them is by defining which ones healthy bodies can and cannot make. The three classes of proteins are non-essential proteins, conditionally essential proteins, essential amino acids. Non-essentials are there are five amino acids termed non-essential because they can be obtained from foods and also generated within the body. The non-essential amino acids are alanine, asparagine, aspartic acid, glutamic acid, serine. Conditionally essential amino acids are there are six amino acids termed as conditionally essential amino acids because healthy bodies can generate them under the normal physiological conditions. They become essential under certain conditions like starvation or inborn errors of metabolism. The conditionally essential amino acids are arginine, cysteine, glutamine, lysine, proline, tyrosine, essential amino acids. There are nine amino acids termed as essential because they cannot be generated within the body. The dietary proteins therefore provides these amino acids which are needed to make certain hormones and other these amino acids which are needed to make certain hormones and other important molecules. The essential amino acids are histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, vanillin. Next one is the types of protein. There are total 7 different types of protein under which all proteins fall. These includes antibodies, contractile proteins, enzymes, hormonal proteins, structural proteins, storage proteins, and transport proteins. Let's talk about the antibodies. Antibodies are the specialized protein that defend the body against the antigen or foreign invaders. Their ability to travel through the bloodstream enables them to be utilized by the immune system to identify and defend against bacteria, viruses, and other foreign introducers in blood. One way antibodies contract antigens is immobilizing them so they can be destroyed by white blood cells. Contractile proteins. Contractile proteins are the responsible for muscle contraction, movement. See molecular motors. The cytoplasm of the cell's colloidal network of contractile proteins, actin filaments, are the major components of this network. See muscle cells. Eukaryotes tend to be possesses amount of actin which control muscle contraction as well as cellular movement division processes. Myosin powers the tasks carried out by the actin by supplying it with energy. Enzymes. All enzymes identified thus for are protein. Enzymes which are catalyzes all the metabolic reaction enable an organism to build up the chemical substances necessary for life proteins, nucleic acid, carbohydrates and lipid to convert them into the substances and to degrade them. Life without enzyme is not possible. Hormonal proteins. Hormonal proteins are the messenger proteins that help to coordinate the certain bodily functions. Example, growth factor are highly specific proteins, a subdivision of cytokines. Growth factors division and differentiation of particular type of cell. In skeletal muscle hypertrophy, growth factors includes insulin-like growth factor IGF. It regulates insulin metabolism and protein synthesis. Next one is the testosterone is the androgen or male sex hormone. The primary physiological role of androgen are to promote the growth and development of the male organ and characteristic. Testosterone affects the nervous system, skeletal muscle, bone marrow, skin, hair, and sex organ. Cortisol is the steroid hormone which is produced in the adrenal cortex of the kidney. It is the stress hormone. Structural proteins. A large group of structural proteins maintains and protects the structure of the animal body. The most common example of structural protein is collagen, which is found in the bones, cells, and the skin. Structural proteins are also found in the cells. They are used to provide internal structure of the cell and are something involved in movement. Structural proteins are especially important in larger cells. Storage proteins. Storage proteins reserve amino acid for the body until ready for use. The example of storage protein includes ferritin is the storage protein that stores iron. Transport proteins. Transport proteins are carrier proteins that move molecules from one place to another place in the body. The respiratory protein hemoglobin acts as oxygen carrier in the blood, transporting oxygen from lungs to body organs and tissues. Cytochromes, another type of transport protein, operate in the electron transport chain, electron carrier protein. That's about all the protein. Thank you.